She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case, cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another day and she solving another case, cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hey Barbie, Chloe, period I, period 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 period I, got my name up in your mouth, you don't know no better. Don't forget I'm from the south, yeah, I got them headers. You watching everything I do, studying all of my moves. Wish you could do what I do. Period I, period period I, period period I, period period I, period.
Good evening, opinionators and litigators. Court is now in session. And the parties that we have in court today, y'all, this case is crazy. We are going to Florida today, y'all. This case, oh my God, I was absolutely shocked when I heard the story. I had to come and talk about this one. I could not believe it. Merry Christmas to you, everybody out there. I know it's past Christmas by now, 2 days have passed, but I still want to say Merry Christmas to those. But y'all, this family didn't have a good Christmas because these two hoodlums on the screen here were acting a hot mess and being unappreciative of what their mother had done for them. So let's first talk about the parties involved, and then we will kind of get into the story. So the people on the screen, let's get into this. These are three siblings here. Now this mom, she has, I believe, 4 children. She has 2 girls and she has 2 boys. Her girls are both older. This young lady at the top here is Aubrielle Baldwin. She is 23 years old. She is the deceased in this case. And we have 15-year-old Darkus here, this young man. And then we got 14-year-old DeMarcus. These 2 spoiled brats. Now, these 2 boys here have had a long history of being very problematic in their schools. They were very defiant. These students, they're not even students. These hoodlums, I call them hoodlums, would be at school carrying firearms. Now, I don't understand how we have a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old that has a gun and the mother is not held accountable. I don't think a 14-year-old or 15-year-old should even legally be able to possess a gun, period. So my issue is, why did they have this gun? Because they had been already known around the community with carrying guns. So the mother already had noticed that her sons had guns and she didn't do anything to intervene. So I'm very disappointed in the mother. So I want to show you some photos before we get into the whole story, guys, because the mother is getting on my nerves. She didn't took me to another level because she knew her child. This is the mother here on the screen here. Let's see if we can get a better picture of her right here. This is the mother. This woman knew good and well that her sons had control of a firearm. Okay. They're 14 and 15 years old. It had already been known in the community that these boys were problematic. They were very defiant in school. They were carrying guns around. And I don't understand why we have these parents out here who don't discipline their kids. These kids were not well-behaved kids. And she's out here, her along with her children that are involved in this case, Aubrielle, DeMarcus, and Darkus, and Aubrielle's 2 children all went Christmas shopping. Now, I don't understand this too. If you're going Christmas shopping, why would you bring the kids with you? Because usually the parents go out on their own and they go Christmas shopping without the kids knowing. I don't know why the mother would bring the kids with her to go Christmas shopping when they'll see all the gifts. So that didn't make sense to me either, because this could have all been avoided if the mom, first of all, wouldn't have brought the kids with her to see her shopping. And second of all, if you're going to go Christmas shopping, make sure you buy equal amounts of gifts for each kid. Don't be buying more for one child. And third, she needs to discipline her kids way more. She let these 2 boys go around with firearms when they were teenagers. I feel like the mom should be charged too. I really don't understand why the mother was not charged with some type of child negligence and child endangerment because she had knowledge that her children had guns because it was already well known in the community. So Abriel here, the young lady at the top, she has 2 children. She just had a 6-month-old, she has a 6-month-old and an 11. Let me get the ages right. She has an 11-month-old, guys, and then she has another little one. She just had a kid too. We'll go into her Facebook a little later. But she's only 23. He's 15. And this hoodlum over here is 14, DeMarcus, who started the whole shooting situation, y'all. So let's get into this tragic case, y'all. This case is a hot mess. So basically, I'll go over what happened. So teenagers 14 and 15 are arrested after the sister, 23-year-old, was murdered in an argument over Christmas presents. And what makes this so sad is I looked at some of the posts from Abriel, which we'll look at later on. Abriel, I feel really sad for her because throughout her life, based on her posts, she always felt unappreciated. She always did a lot of nice things for people. She was always there for people in her life. And she always felt like people weren't there for her. So it really feels very sad that she always had this hope that one day, people would need her. And, when she's successful. So she always had this dream of being able to be successful. People would finally appreciate her. And it's so sad that she never got to live out that dream. So we'll look at some of her posts later on, but let's get into the background of the story. Anyways, teenage brothers 14 and 15 are arrested after sister 23 was unalived in an argument over Christmas presents, y'all. A hot mess. These kids, now they're not even going to get any of those presents that they were arguing about in the first place. Okay. They're not even going to get none of the presents. Victim was shot dead while holding her baby, y'all. She was holding her baby. Whew. In a very violent sibling showdown at the grandmother's house in Florida. So all the parties involved was the mother, Abriel, her 2 kids, DeMarcus and Darcus. They all went Christmas shopping, which I don't understand why the mom brought the 2 boys in the first place. She knows her kids are a hot mess, but the mom is a hot mess too. I looked at her TikTok and her mom just be on TikTok all day, just looking a hot mess. She don't look like she has any home training either. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, y'all. But Abriel Baldwin, 23, was shot and unalived on Christmas Eve in Largo, Florida. Police have charged her brother, DeMarcus Coley, who is 14 years old, over her death. Another brother, Darcus, 15 years old, he used this shot and injured DeMarcus. He shot DeMarcus in the stomach after DeMarcus shot his older sister. So DeMarcus basically shot in defense of the older sister. So in my opinion, I think DeMarcus actually has a great defense in his case because he can argue that he was defending his sister. So he might get a lesser charge. Or he might get a lesser conviction, to be honest. He has a strong defense. Anyways, both brothers, sheriff said, were known to carry guns all the time. See, this is the part where I have an issue with. They were known to carry guns all the time, y'all. So why didn't the mom do anything? I'm really irritated with that mom. Some of these people should not have kids. I'm just saying, okay? The family had been arguing over Christmas presents with the 15-year-old saying his 14-year-old brother was getting more generous gifts than he was. So this whole case, guys, stemmed from jealousy. It's a case of jealousy. And the mom is responsible too because, first of all, why would you bring your kids with you to go Christmas shopping, first of all? Because it's supposed to be gifts. It's supposed to be a surprise, as it is, okay? Second of all, why are you buying more gifts for one child than the other? That mom, though, doesn't have much discretion in her parenting. And third of all, which should be number one, actually, why are you not disciplining your children and preventing them from having firearms in the first place? Seriously. It started in the home. The mom didn't know what she was doing. A 23-year-old Florida mother of 2 has been shot and unalive following an argument over Christmas presents. Why do they keep repeating it? This article, y'all. Okay, so police believe the gun was fired by her 14-year-old brother, DeMarcus, who was then shot by the 15-year-old sibling, Darcus, who was basically defending his older sister, basically. Which, I think he has a defense. It is alleged that Darcus fled the scene and then made a call to their mother. So Darcus who was the younger one, he got shot in the stomach by his older brother after he shot his sister. So after that, he ran off to try to escape, and then he called his mom to tell his mom what happened, basically. Because after she went Christmas shopping, they dropped everybody off at the grandmother's house, and that's when this whole argument just got out of hand. DeMarcus and his sister were taken to the hospital where he underwent surgery, but Abriel did not survive her injuries. That is so sad, y'all. Dang, I wish she died. She's so beautiful too. Both brothers have been charged with unaliving. Now, Darkest has been charged with attempted murder, and DeMarcus has been charged with murder, basically. And the state is considering trying them as adults. Now, again, I think that the older brother does have a defense. He can argue that he was trying to protect his older sister. So he might, I'm telling you, he might have a strong argument. The other one, not so much. So this is the young lady who has been unalived. The sad part, too, about this whole story is her 2 children, guys. She left behind 2 boys. That is sad. That is so sad. Like, now it's going to be all on the... And the mother lost 3 of her children. And there's another sister who's 21 years old. She lost 3 of her siblings. So it's just all sad. 23-year-old mother of 2 here she is, so beautiful. Here are the 2 knuckleheads here. So Darkest, Coley, 15 left. Sorry, I had it wrong. So I got it backwards, guys. This is the older brother, the 15-year-old. I'm sorry that I had the order wrong. The one on the left here is the older brother. He is Darkest. Now, what kind of name is that, guys? Darkest. Oh, Lord, please pray for these parents. These parents in these names. I have never heard of anybody name their kid Darkest. What is that? So Darkest, he is on the left here. And the younger one here, 14 years old, who's a hothead on the right, who shot his older sister right here. So he's facing the attempted murder charge because he was trying to protect his sister. This hothead over here is the little spoiled brat who shot the sister because she was trying to intervene and stop them from fighting. She's trying to tell them to calm down, stop fighting. You know, this isn't worth it. And then he goes and shoots her over that. Hot mess. So let's take a look at this video, y'all. This is crazy.
Equal amounts of gifts. And at that point, Abrielle was in the driveway and she was carrying her 10-month-old baby in a carrier in her hand. You know, her brother killed her.
A fight between 2 teenage brothers over Christmas presents ends with their older sister dead, one of them wounded, and both of them facing charges. Good evening. I'm Keith Kate.
I'm Jennifer Lee. Thank you for joining us. The sheriff's office says the older brother shot his younger brother after learning he shot their sister, who was trying to get the squabble to end. All of this happened on Christmas Eve, in the Ridgecrest neighborhood of Pinellas County on 22nd Avenue Southwest, just off Trotter Road. News Channel 8's Trevor Sohaki joins us live from the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office with more. Trevor.
Well, Jen, Keith, the sheriff said that these arguments over Christmas presents, they happen all the time, just not with guns. The sheriff said these 2 boys have been arrested before, and now he's asking for the laws to change. A Christmas Eve tragedy for one Largo family.
She's just a woman going about life, doing her thing with her 2 kids, trying to make a living, trying to make it. And, you know, her brother killed her.
Pinellas County Sheriff Bob Gualtieri said 23-year-old Abrielle Baldwin was shot by her 14-year-old brother because he was arguing over Christmas presents with his 15-year-old brother.
The fact that you get upset, you get 2 14, 15-year-olds that get upset with each other because one got more. I mean, that happens. I mean, that's kid stuff, but not with guns.
The sheriff said the 15-year-old was home, saw his sister lying in the driveway, then shot his younger brother. The sheriff said Abrielle later died at the hospital, leaving behind an 11-month-old baby and 6-year-old son.
The problem is you got way too many kids out there with way too many guns.
The sheriff used much of his press conference today venting against the laws surrounding minors and gun possession.
Because if we don't slow it down, we got a big problem. And I've never seen it as bad as it is with the number of crime guns that are on the street.
Sheriff Gualtieri said in the last 30 days, his office recorded 17 guns stolen from unlocked cars.
So the thing is, we don't know where these guns came from, guys, but the mom is very neglectful, and I feel like she has a lot to play in this. Now, I just did want to clarify the ages of the kids. So basically, Abriel has 2 kids. She has a 6-month-old and 11-month-old baby. I don't know why they have a 6-year-old son. Oh, sorry, she has a 6-year-old son. Sorry, because I did look at her Facebook, and she does have a 6-year. Let me see how old this kid looks. This kid look a little older. Yeah, he's a cute little boy. Yeah, I think he's about 6. Yeah, so she does have a 6-year-old son, guys, and a 10-month. She just had a new baby. So the drama began when, this is crazy, y'all. What I don't understand, though, they keep saying that the kids are going to get these guns in locked vehicles and stuff. So, but what is the discipline going? Where's the parenting? That's my issue. This mom seems to just be rewarding these kids when they don't deserve to be rewarded. I mean, even Santa Claus said he's checking his list. He's checking it twice. He's trying to find out if you're naughty or nice. Well, these kids have been naughty throughout their life, and she keeps rewarding them with gifts. Like, they shouldn't have got any Christmas gifts, period, point blank. And why did she? I don't know, guys. Let me get into the story. Sorry, guys. I'm going on a rant. Anyways, the drama began when the siblings went shopping with their mother, Joyce, which I showed you a picture of her, and Abriel's 2 children, a 6-year-old son and an 11-month-old baby boy. She just had a baby. Well, she just had a baby almost a year ago. They returned to their grandmother's house in Largo and began arguing, with the 15-year-old saying his younger brother was getting more than him. So it's interesting. The older brother, who ended up defending his sister, he's the one that ended up shooting in return after the younger brother, the older sister. He's the one that started the argument in the first place. This is interesting. So the older brother got jealous of the younger brother. Okay. So he got home. He was mad because his younger brother got more gifts. The fact that you get 2 teenagers arguing over presents, a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old, that happens, said the sheriff, but not with guns. I know, that's crazy. That's the crazy part about it, how these 14-year-old, 15-year-olds have guns. The 14-year-old DeMarcus allegedly pulled out a .4 caliber semi-automatic handgun and threatened to shoot his brother in the head, but their uncle managed to remove him from the home, Giller explained. So basically, they're in the house arguing. The 14-year-old is threatening the older one, and then the uncle makes the 14-year-old leave the house. Okay, so the older one's still inside while DeMarcus is outside. Now, outside, it is understood that DeMarcus was confronted by his bigger sister, Abriel, who was carrying her 11-month-old son in the baby carrier. So when he got outside, she basically started talking to them, and she said, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas," she told him in an audio captured by a neighbor's home camera system obtained by Tampa-based system. So they have video surveillance of this, and that's the words that she said. She was just telling them, leave this alone. It's Christmas. Just let it go, basically. Oh, God. He didn't want to hear that, y'all. The Christmas Eve shooting happened outside of the siblings' grandmother's house in Largo. And this is the house, guys, where it happened at. That's crazy. That is so crazy. Anyway, and here is the firearm that was used. How we got a little kid with this, I don't understand. Or a teenager with this, I don't understand. So Abriel was shot and unalive with this firearm, said police, which they believe was stolen from a car. Now, the other gun was not retrieved. They could not find that gun because when the other brother ran, he dropped it in a field. Here is a video here. You can see this says DeMarcus Coley. See, this is a video of him showing this gun, pointing this gun on his social media, guys, 14 hours ago. Pointing this gun on his social media. And his mom didn't do anything about that? Like, seriously, the mom should be arrested too. I don't understand why she hasn't been charged. Child neglect, child endangerment, something, period. DeMarcus Coley, 14, is seen posting with his gun hours before he allegedly unalived his sister. This is the picture here. Isn't that crazy? Wow. The sheriff continued, DeMarcus then began arguing with Abriel and used some very derogatory language. I won't repeat it all kinds of profanity. So he basically started cussing his sister out. He was calling her a I don't know. Oh, he was calling her a WHORE, guys. Basically, ho, ho, ho. Basically, that's what he's calling her. And all kinds of other stuff. And stated that he was going to unalive her and that he was going to unalive the baby too, guys. He would, dang, this 14-year-old was a straight hothead. Dang, guys, he said he was going to unalive her and her 11-month-old baby. This kid needs to be locked for the rest of his life. There's no hope for him. I don't think there's any hope for this kid at all. At all, for him to say something so inhumane like that. His own family, man. Wow. DeMarcus then allegedly shot his sister in the chest. That's sad. His brother Darkus reportedly ran out of the house screaming that his sister had been shot, then allegedly shot DeMarcus with his own .45 caliber pistol. Okay, so after that happened, that's when Darkus came out and shot the younger brother for shooting his sister. Darkus fled the scene, throwing his gun into a nearby yard and contacting his mother, deputy said. So that gun was never found, basically, the one he threw in the yard. He was later taken to a mental health facility due to self-harm statements and is expected to be transferred to the Pinellas Juvenile Assessment Center. Both brothers have been charged. DeMarcus Coley faces charges of first-degree M-word, child abuse, and delinquent in possession of a firearm, and may be charged as an adult. His 15-year-old brother faces charges of attempted first-degree M-word, y'all know the word, and tampering with physical evidence. And this is a photo of the deceased here, April 23, mother of a 6-year-old son and 11-month-old baby boy. Man, guys, what is our world coming to? How we can't even trust our own family members, y'all. Own family members. And this is the picture of the cute little baby, that the 11-month-old, so cute. The baby was held by his mother in a carrier when she was shot, but the child was unharmed. So she was holding, when she was shot in the chest, y'all, she was holding her baby. That is crazy, y'all. Crazy. Dang, this is crazy. So the sheriff said that juvenile delinquents are getting their hands on firearms either by purchasing stolen guns on the street or through car burglaries. And a lot of times they can buy these guns for very low prices, like just $50. It's crazy. Both DeMarcus and Darkus carried guns all the time, and they routinely carried firearms on them, he said. Now, that's the part where I feel like the mother had knowledge, and she didn't do anything about it. So I feel she is just as responsible. Where are the adults in these kids' lives? They have no real, guidance. That's why this happened, is because of the poor parenting on the part of the mother and the grandmother and the uncle. Like, where were these people at letting these boys have guns in the first place? He said people knew it and that's what they did, but that's still wrong. Why don't you guys go after the parents involved? He added, this is what happens when you've got young delinquents and they carry guns. They get upset. They don't know how to handle stuff. So they just pick up their guns and they start shooting each other, which is why I don't think any underage child should be able to legally possess any firearms, because their emotions are not controlled as it is. The kids sometimes can be impulsive and not make logical decisions. So you add a gun to the equation, they will basically use these firearms in impulsive situations like this because they can't control their angers and make proper decisions as it is. It just empowers them to utilize these firearms to harm people. As he said here, when he said they get upset and they don't know how to handle stuff. So they just think picking up a gun is the way to handle things, which it's not. They don't know proper problem-solving skills. So the sheriff said that both brothers were all known to the police. So they already had been in and out of the judicial system, guys. In and out of the judicial system. But what we have an issue with is a lot of these court systems are so lenient and passive. And so many times when they were in and out of the judicial system, they had continually been let go. A lot of them weren't even charged with the crimes that they were in custody for or in court for. So they continually kept being treated in a lenient way, that this led to this. It was foreseeable that they were going to end up doing something negligent like this because they've continually gotten away with all of their misbehaviors, not only from the legal system, but within their household. The mother is literally spoiling these kids who don't know how to behave themselves. Like, oh my God. They didn't stand a chance. I don't think anybody in this family stood a chance, okay? Now, anyways, DeMarcus' arrest history dates back to when he was 12 years old, y'all. He previously had been charged with vehicle theft. How are you 12 years old being charged with vehicle theft, y'all? Make it make sense. Battery on a school employee, battery on a law enforcement officer. Oh my God. So DeMarcus is a hothead. The 14-year-old is over here hitting law enforcement and school employees. And like seriously. And he got away with all that. He didn't get convicted and serve long, lengthy time frame for hitting a law enforcement. I don't get it. I don't get it, y'all. And they had to learn it in the household because the mom is a hot mess too, from what I've seen. Both brothers were arrested in May for multiple car burglaries, y'all. Both of them for car burglaries. And both have been previous juvenile charges for being a minor in possession of a firearm. Oh my God. See, the mom already knew this. Why is she not charged? She's equally guilty. She's been letting these teenagers have guns. They've been repeatedly charged with possession, and she did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh my God. Some people just should not have kids. I feel like people should have to submit background checks and all kinds of credentials in order to be able to have children. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, because some people just are not cut out to be responsible parents. The sheriff added that the problem is you've got way too many kids out there with way too many guns. No, that's not the issue. We have a poor parenting issue as well. It's a combination of issues. Poor parenting, too many guns in the streets, that easy access to these kids, and a very lenient judicial system. Those are the three issues that we have. He said gun violence among young children was the worst he's ever seen. These kids need to be locked up. Send a message. Right. Stop giving these kids a pat on the back. Oh my God. So that, and the crazy part is she was holding a baby too. That is just like, dang, may she rest in peace, y'all. This case is a hot mess. I do want to go into some of the Facebook and social media so we can kind of look at who these people are. So let's start with, where is this girl's? Aubrey Baldwin. Is that her name? There she is. I'm going to go on her Facebook first, y'all, because I do want to look at some things in her background. So this is the older sister who was 23 years old, who passed away. She had two boys. One was 6, one was 11 months. Now, I want to look at some of her posts. Some of her posts were very sad, but let's take a look at some of her pictures just to see who she was. Here was a picture of her. I kind of feel sad for her looking at some of her posts. This is when she was pregnant with her youngest baby, I think it was, because this was just this year, actually. She just posted this in January. So, yeah. Just January. She was about to pop. That's her 6-year-old son. That's her again. Why do have people doing this, y'all? Posting these money. I don't understand. That's the sad too. Now the kids don't have a mom, and we know they probably didn't even have a responsible dad. She looks a lot like her mom too. I'll post a picture of her mom later. There's another picture of her. Yeah, some more pictures. I believe she graduated. Another picture here. She really liked fashion. Very sweet young lady. She just was misguided because she didn't have much parenting, good parenting. Y'all. So this person looks like this person passed away too. It says rest easy, baby. Oh my God. The life these people live. No home training, y'all. No home training. I really don't understand where was the responsibility of the mom. What's this? It says Auntie's Babies. Auntie's Babies. Shell Brown. Love this picture. So Somebody over here is an auntie. That might be the sister, actually. The sweet boy. I feel sad for these boys that don't, and the baby that had to be there. Oh my God. They have a lot of death in their family, looks like. They always have a lot of rest easy. Okay, so here is one of the last posts. Let's go over some of her posts because some of her posts to me were a little bit disturbing. So this post right here, she said, my son be making me cry. So he going to come up. Oh, I don't want to read this one, guys, because this one, it just shows bad parenting. I feel like this bad parenting thing kind of, guys, this bad parenting kind of goes down generation to generation. So this thing, she's basically talking about how the boy was asking where his dad was. Basically, he came up to her and he said, why you won't ask my daddy where he at? She said, because he be hoeing, you know what that word is. And then the son says, I get it, mom, he hoeing. And then she said, do you know what you just said? And he said, yep, I truly understand you said he's hoeing. You got to be careful what you say around kids. Yeah, you do. Why would you say that to the kid and then ask him, does he know what he's saying? Like, really? So let's read some of these comments here. Some people are like, because some people, are sharing their condolences. Some people acting crazy on here. Some people say, sorry this happened to you. Baby girl, rest up. This person says, this explains a lot. None of these kids had a chance. I kind of agree with this dude right here because it's true. Like a lot of the stuff in this family was just dysfunctional. A lot of dysfunction and the things that they were teaching the kids. They didn't have much home training, y'all. Ugh. This guy right here, I don't want to read his stuff because he's a hot mess. Let's see. It's absolutely zero reason for you cops to be on her post from your burner Facebook. Miseducation. Okay, I don't want to read that. That's sad. Oh my God. I hope her children will be adopted into a. Oh God, these are terrible people, guys. Actually, on here, a lot of the stuff people are saying are very racist stuff. So I really don't want to read it. They're like saying racist stuff about Black people and how her hair looked. And, like a lot of like racist stereotypical things they said about Black girls and basically, celebrating why she passed away. So it's really sickening, the posts, like a lot of racist stuff on her page. So I don't want to read all that. If you guys want to go on her page and read it, you're welcome to, but it's just very disgusting. This person said, I hope her relatives can log into her account and turn the comments off. Shame on every one of you choosing to say some racist BS on her page. That's what people are saying. 2 babies lost their mother and a very young mother, I might add. I hope you all take a long, hard look in the mirrors and better yourselves. May this young lady rest in peace and may this world be better at preventing needless tragedies like this from happening. I agree with her. Like, people are so cold, guys. This woman, she passed away in the worst way, man. Her own brother, man. And for people to come on here and make fun of her because of how she looks, that's just so disgusting. Look at this. It's like you get a lot of racist people like this guy saying, you see appropriating white women's hair and nails, knowing your real hair is half long, ready to scrub dishes. Like, this is disgusting. This is some of the comments that we see from sick people like this. And they're fake profiles from somebody. Some different fake people on there, like making fake profiles. It's disgusting. It is disgusting to treat her like that. So anyways, I wanted to read some of her posts here. So, because I felt it was very sad. She said, God look high and he look low. Watch how you treated people. Isn't that crazy, guys? That was just 5 days ago. And she said that. Watch how you treated people. That God looks high, God looks low. Watch how you treat people. And then look at this. This tragedy happened. That is crazy, isn't it? It's almost like she had been treated really bad even before this happened. And even how her brothers just treated her, like how her brother treated like she could just be discarded like that. See, because it sounds like she'd been treated really bad. Look at this one. Another thing she posted 5 days ago. People treat you like SHIT when you don't got none. Like when you don't have money, basically, you don't have anything. But always want you to be there when they need you. It's okay. God is working on me. Then the same people that treat you like SHIT going to need the same person. But I'm not stressing no more because I'm going to pay you back for that one. So just 5 days ago, she already had been mistreated. And she'd been posting a lot. All 5 days ago, on the same day she posted. That's sad. And she said here again 5 days ago, everybody except for you to be there for them, but nobody give a F about your needs. What about me? What about what I need, bro? This is why I stay to myself and out the way. Now, I don't know if she was using bro as like a slang, because a lot of people use bro as just a slang, or was she using it to talk about her brothers? I don't know. Y'all determine that, opinionators. But I just find it very ironic that she talked a lot just 5 days ago on the same day about how poorly she was treated, how people didn't give a care about her. And even the younger sister said the same thing in an interview, that she said her sister felt like nobody cared about her. And then look at what happens to her on Christmas. Like, her brother killed her like he didn't care about her life. It is so sad. This is like a very sad thing to see what she went through, and then how she was treated. Like, she was just thrown away. I can't believe that. That is so heartbreaking. I wish she got to live so she could live out her dream and show everybody that she could be successful, because that's all she wanted to do, is prove to people that she was valuable, that people should care about her, because she didn't feel like that she was loved by anyone. That is so sad, y'all. So sad. So she has a younger sister. Her younger sister had just turned 21. She just turned 21 December 18th. And this is what Aubrey wrote. She said, I know who little sister do it, aka mama of the clique. My mom didn't make no ugly kids. She definitely did her big one, y'all. I can't believe my baby 21. Time flying. But you knew that already. One thing I can say is a boss always going to get the job done. Do the pretty girl rock. Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. Happy birthday to a real bad bee. So this was her younger sister. And this was the young girl that actually did the interview. And when she did her interview, she was saying that her sister didn't feel loved and appreciated. It's very sad. She felt like her sister always felt like she wasn't valuable. And that's pretty sad. And then the brother treated her that way. Like, he just threw her away, and even was treating his own nephew that way. Like, he was going to kill the baby too. Like, that is crazy. Now, this hot mess right here is the mom. I don't have much love for the mom. Now, this is the mom. She wished her daughter happy birthday here. She said, I want to say happy birthday to my baby girl. I love you so much. And turn up. I will go to war about this one. And mom will always be there for you. Just know that I'm so proud of you. So it seemed like she favored this young lady here. She had certain favorites. The mom, I feel like, really didn't have much good child rearing. She might have even talked to her older daughter as if she was a failure, like not proud of her as a daughter. But I have a bone to pick with this lady. I feel like she really is a failure at parenting. I'm not trying to be so hard on people, but I feel like she is, because you got to try to hold these parents accountable. It comes from the household. Like, she spoiled these kids rotten without even trying to discipline them, give them any home training. Like, how do you let your child go around with firearms? Seriously, I don't get it. You knew your kid was having firearms. He already been in jail for it. And you go and you do this. Like, guys. Woo, pray for me, because she really makes me irritated. I'm not going to go into too many pictures, but I saw her TikTok and I was like, girl, you sitting here all day on TikTok and you need to be somewhere focusing on your children. That's why your kids are a hot mess now. But she do have a lot of followers, though. She got 1,000. She got serious followers. This probably has copyright. Hold on.
I know a bitch that's mad, sad, because the bitch can't fuck with me. I know a hoe that's pressed.
See, this is the stuff that she has on her TikTok. Y'all, did y'all see that? I'm sorry. Sorry about the cuss words, but that's the kind of stuff that she has on her TikTok. I'm like, these kids didn't stand a chance. That has a song on it, so I can't do these ones. Let me see this one.
Oh, I know I'm gonna be right.
Sorry, I can't do that. It has music. All these have songs on them. Let's see, original. Okay, so she has another music. See, all she do is be on this TikTok. I wish I could try to give you guys.
You ain't gonna meet
of me every day. Who had me and lost me regrets me to this day. Be careful how you treat me.
But seriously, like, be careful how you treat and raise your kids, because you didn't raise your kids well. You too busy on TikTok all day, acting a fool, not focusing on trying to raise your children and see what they're getting involved in. And you need to take accountability for that. I'm sorry. Like, that mom get on my last nerve. I want to take a look though at some of these videos that we found on YouTube about this case. They had a press conference, and let me see. Yeah, they had a video. So we'll take a look at some of these videos and the press conference to just get more details about this very sad, unfortunate tragedy.
Side that happened here in Largo on Christmas Eve, December 24th at about 1:45 p.m. The victim in the homicide is Abrielle Baldwin, a 23-year-old black female. Her date of birth is May 5th of 2000. She went by the name of Bree and was a mom to two boys, a 6-year-old and an 11-month-old. We've arrested two people, and I'll explain the incident as to what happened. The first person that was arrested is DeMarcus Coley. He's a 14-year-old black male. Date of birth is May 2nd, 2009. And he's been charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, and being a delinquent in possession of a firearm. The second is Darkus Coley. He's a 15-year-old black male. Date of birth is January 31st, 2008. And his charges are attempted first-degree murder and tampering with physical evidence. So this is what happened. On Christmas Eve, as I said, December 24th, Abrielle Baldwin, her 10-month-old son, her 6-year-old son, her 14-year-old brother, DeMarcus, her 15-year-old brother, Darkus, and their mother, Joyce Birch, who's a black female with a date of birth of June 25th, 1984, went Christmas shopping at a store here in Largo. While they're shopping, 15-year-old Darkus was jealous that their mother, Joyce, was getting 14-year-old DeMarcus more gifts than he was receiving. So they had this family spat about who was getting what and what money was being spent on who, and they're having this big thing going on in the store, and they're all arguing with each other. They left the store and headed to their grandmother's house, and they're having this big spat about what happened while shopping and who's getting what and who didn't.
Now, my question here is, where did the mom go after this? Like, where was she at? How come she didn't intervene? Like, she is one of the culprits of the whole situation. Why would you take your kids Christmas shopping, and why would you buy one kid more than would you buy the other? I mean, we learned this in basic parenting. Basic parenting 101. You don't buy one kid more than something else. Like, you already know that. Like, if one kid gets something, you always get the other kid the other thing, like, or make it equal. Like, that's what basic parenting is. So the mom, like I said, she just didn't have most of her marbles going on. She was so focused on herself that she really could care less about really raising and disciplining these children.
Get what for Christmas? So this is just normal what people do when they have these young kids getting spats like this. And of course, I'm saying this sarcastically because he's all mad at his brother about what his brother was getting and is not getting. He stood in the doorway and he took out his 40 caliber semi-automatic handgun and he pointed it at Darkus and told him he was going to shoot him in the head. So you got the 14-year-old who's mad at the 15-year-old because mom's not buying equal amounts of gifts. They get to grandma's house and he takes out his gun and tells him he's going to shoot him in the head. DeMarcus then began arguing with Abrielle and used some very, very derogatory language that I won't repeat at all, and all kinds of profanity, and stated that he was going to shoot her and that he was going to, quote, shoot the baby too. DeMarcus then moved toward Abrielle and shot her in the chest with a 40 caliber semi-automatic handgun, again, while she's carrying the baby. Abrielle fell to the ground, so did the baby. The baby wasn't hurt because the baby was in a carrier. So when DeMarcus falls to the ground, Darkus comes out of the house And again, Darkus is 15, and he takes out his 45 caliber semi-automatic handgun because, again, I'll say this sarcastically, just normal that all these kids, that's what you do, right? You just carry handguns. When you get in a spat with your sibling, you take out your guns and you have a gun battle. So he takes out his gun and tells DeMarcus, so Darkus tells DeMarcus, quote, "You shot my MF sister," and then Darkus shot DeMarcus one time in the stomach. Unfortunately, Abrielle Baldwin was transported to Largo Medical Center Hospital here in Largo with a single gunshot wound to her chest, and she was pronounced dead at the hospital. Basically, the round went in through her left arm into her chest area, went across, went into both lungs, all kinds of internal bleeding. She bled out and it popped both lungs. She couldn't breathe.
Wow, guys, it went in and just tore her body up. You know how bullets are. Bullets travel. So it, as soon as it went into her arm, it went in and pierced both her lungs and she just bled out. And according to another source that I'm looking at, the source said that she fell and died instantly. So, you know, a lot of times procedurally, they have to say, oh, they died at the hospital, but that's not always the case. She actually was already deceased on the ground. She died instantly because those bullets just immediately just went in, guys, and ripped that poor woman's body up, man. It is so sad. And that's crazy. We got some new details from this this little bit of the press release, because there's a lot of the press release, but I didn't know the part where the brother Darkus, when he came out, he said, "You shot my effing sister." And then I didn't know that whole statement there. So that's another detail we learned from listening to him, is that the statement Darkus said, "You shot my effing sister." And that's when he pulled out his gun from his waist and he shot the other brother in the stomach. Now, the police and the medics arrived where they found Abrielle deceased from her injuries and her son unharmed. So when they came, they already found her deceased. It wasn't that she died at the hospital. So a lot of times when they do these press conferences, they have to procedurally say that the person died at the hospital. But according to this source that I'm looking at here, when they already came, she was already dead, guys. And DeMarcus was rushed to the hospital, and he's in stable condition. So that's Darkus fled the scene, and he was found. They put him in a mental facility because he was threatening to harm himself, basically take his life. And it's interesting how they just go and they call the mom. He called the mom immediately after he messed up. He's a little boy, but man up to what you did. Man up to what you did. I know you're a little boy, but you was man enough to take your own sister's life. Like, that is crazy, y'all. Died on the spot. And I don't understand, why is it always the innocent people that gets unalived, and the ones that are out here acting a fool, they always survive? I don't get it.
DeMarcus was transported to a hospital where he underwent surgery. He's in custody, remains in the hospital, is in stable condition, and upon release, he'll be transferred to the custody of the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. The Pinellas Pasco State Attorney's Office is going to review the case and decide whether to charge DeMarcus as an adult with the first-degree murder of his sister. Darkus, again, the 15-year-old, made self-harm statements after we picked him up at the location where he was in Clearwater, and he is right now in a secure mental health facility, and he'll be charged with attempted first-degree murder and tampering with evidence, and transported to the Pinellas Juvenile Assessment Center upon his release from the mental health facility.
And this was just a small clip of the press conference. The press conference was like 48 minutes long. But y'all, I'm not about to sit here all day watching this long press conference, y'all. We're not about to do that. So we just gonna do that short little clip of it. I want to see what this says, if it's going to give us any other details.
This is a curly wig. It's curly wig for the season because, you know, I'm a
53-year-old mother of two is dead after being shot by her own brother on Christmas Eve. Abrielle Baldwin was trying to break up an argument between her siblings when one of them pulled out a gun. Fox 13's Evan Axelbank reports on what has the sheriff furious and the changes he is now calling for.
Photos Abrielle Baldwin posted to social media show her filled with joy.
She's just a woman going about life, doing her thing with her two kids, trying to make a living, trying to make it.
On Christmas Eve, while at her grandmother's home on 22nd.
And that's the sad part about it, guys. Just a 23-year-old woman who just wanted to matter, wanted to exist. And we can tell that from her social media posts, as I was mentioning. You can see that just 5 days ago, she posted several posts about not being treated right, not being valued, not feeling like people appreciate her, treating her like what she called SHIT. And then the day she gets unalive, she's treated the same way by her own brother, man. Dang. So all she ever wanted to really do is try to make it, just try to be looked at as someone of value in society. And she never got to do that. It's so sad. And she's never going to be able to see her two boys survive or live. And it's going to repeat the cycle because these kids are going to go and live with that terrible grandmother who don't even know how to raise her own kids right. So it's going to be this never ending cycle of those two boys ended up the same exact way as their uncles. Because that mom, the grandmother, she don't even know how to raise her own kids right. She don't even know how to discipline them. So the two boys don't stand a chance. It's just very sad of just what you can already see what's going to end up happening.
Second Avenue in Largo, she'd had enough of her brothers bickering. DeMarcus and Darcus began pulling guns on one another.
Abrielle told DeMarcus, quote, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas."
They both had been fighting over Christmas presents, with the 15-year-old Darcus jealous that their mom had spent more on gifts for 14-year-old DeMarcus. After Abrielle stepped in, DeMarcus pulled a gun and fired, killing her and sending her son and his nephew, an 11-month-old, falling to the ground.
Dang, and he's the same kid, y'all, who had been arrested in the past for assaulting law enforcement and battering a teacher, a school employee. So he has he's very impulsive, that younger boy. He's very impulsive and he doesn't control his emotions. So he's one of the last people that should be having a firearm. And all those times he had been charged with battering other, law enforcement, teachers, and getting away with it, basically, never being held accountable. It led to this ultimate situation because when you're not held accountable for the decisions you make, then you feel like you can continue to do those negligent actions, gross negligent, not even just gross negligence, a complete disregard for human life. You will continue to repeat those actions because you have not been held accountable in the past. And that is what has happened. He has never been held accountable for any choices that he's made, which has led to this ultimate situation here.
Then Darcus pulled his own gun and shot DeMarcus, leaving him badly injured.
This proliferation of guns on the streets and guns in this area and guns in the hands of these kids, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't think we've ever seen it this bad.
The sheriff says the area around 22nd Avenue in Largo has been subject to extra patrols lately, with 13 gun-related incidents since September. He says his office has gotten reports of 17 guns stolen from unlocked cars. He suspects the guns used in this shooting were obtained that way.
And people can't leave their car doors unlocked and leave their guns in their cars. It's got to stop.
But what I notice about this case that I can't seem to, that really irritates me about the case is that no one seems to point the finger at the parents. Like, even this officer here, like, why are we forgetting the role of the parents, the mother involved in this? Like, she should be at the forefront too. She knew her sons had violent tendencies, a long-standing record of being in and out of the judicial system, possessing firearms, all these things. Like, what was she doing? All she was doing was rewarding their misconduct repeatedly. This is the case. This case really irks my nerves because all the different videos I've looked up, I couldn't find one video that talks about the role of the mother. And it's irritating me. Very much irritating me.
Further, the sheriff says both juveniles have been let off the hook too easily by the juvenile justice system, particularly DeMarcus, who has a history of violence against school staff and law enforcement. The sheriff is calling for tougher laws.
they are not getting the consequences that they should get that keep them from doing it again and again and again.
Abrielle was only 23, and now her kids, an 11-month-old and a 6-year-old, will have to grow up without her. Evan Axelbank, Fox 13 News.
DeMarcus has been charged with first-degree murder for shooting his sister. He's in the hospital and expected to recover. Darkus is charged with attempted first-degree murder and is in a mental health treatment facility.
And as that news report stated, DeMarcus, the young kid, the younger one, the 14-year-old, is like the main problem too. I mean, both of them are issues because I mean they were in robbery and all kinds of stuff. So you can't really say one or the other. But I just noticed that DeMarcus is very impulsive. He's the one that just doesn't have much control over his impulses, and that's a big issue that I've seen with him. But yeah, this case took me out. I feel so sad for Abrielle. My heart is really broken for her because all she ever wanted to do, guys, was to matter. And she never did. Like, no one treated her with love and care and value. They took her for granted and discarded her like she didn't matter. This DeMarcus guy right here, he's a problem. And Darkus too, they both a problem. But this makes me sad for Abrielle. Very sad for Abrielle. All right, I want to see what y'all have to say about this very sad case. This case is so sad. Right. Unguarded Hours said they look like grown men. They sure do. Don't they look? They look like grown men. They don't look like kids. Oh, okay. So Unguarded says she may have been scared of them. Where was the dad? Any real men in their lives? Now that is a good point to bring out, Unguarded, that I did not bring out. The missing father component. And yeah, a lot of these families in the Black community are missing a very important role in the households, and that's the father. And that is a key issue that we see in the Black community. And like Unguarded said, is they're missing that male component. I mean, he obviously had an uncle at the grandmother's house who intervened, and that's, he's the one that made DeMarcus go outside. But like Unguarded Hours said, one of the issues that we see in these Black homes is we have the moms trying to raise these boys to be men, and they need their fathers. But if the father is a hot mess too, then, I mean, where is the hope? Where is the hope if the father's a hot mess? I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like the father was in the life of the children. It looks like she was a single parent mom. Yeah, guy. He said, how is there a fight over a gift? Who was it for? Now, Unguarded Heart, the mother took them. I don't know why she did this. She took them with her to the store to buy gifts for both of them. So she bought multiple gifts, but she bought more gifts for the younger brother. So the older brother at the bottom of the screen, the third picture, that's Darkus. He got mad. And then that's when he started the argument with his younger brother, and it escalated at the house with them talking about, they're going to shoot each other. And that's when the uncle made the younger brother go outside, and the sister kind of was out there like, you need to stop this, let it go. It's Christmas. And he didn't want to hear it. He was already hot and bothered. And when you have a gun in the situation, Jazzy made a good point. Jazzy, thank you for bringing this part up. Jazzy is right that some of these parents are scared of their kids. So that is a good point that Jazzy brought out. That we don't know. Maybe the mom was scared, but still, like, come on, y'all. She is a mother, though. Like, she has the grandma, she has the uncle. So if she's scared, how come she can't have a male figure come in and intervene? She could have talked to her brother, because her brother was even there at this incident. So she could have had her brother talk to her kids. Or if she feels like she doesn't have much control over the kids, put them in a group home for a while. Shoot, I'm sorry. My sister was a hot mess when I was growing up, and my mom couldn't control my older sister. So she had to remove her from the home for a little bit and have her go to a group home. And that, I'm sorry, sometimes you have to do that if you're too scared of your kids and you don't know how to discipline your children, especially your children having guns. I mean, maybe you need to have them kids go somewhere for a while until they can act right. I'm sorry. It sounds pretty harsh, but these kids here already had a long record of being in and out of the judicial system for violence towards law enforcement, towards school employees, burglary, stealing vehicles, all that. So, I mean, clearly the mom probably could have been scared, but that's not an excuse. She's still a parent. It starts like, what was she doing when they were kids? One of the biggest issues too is when they're younger. You can really raise your kids to respect you if you start when they're really little. But if you're not disciplining them at the really small age, when they get into teenage age, there's no hope. There is no hope. Yeah, it's too late by then trying to discipline them at a teenage year. But I think Jazzy brought up a good point. You know, there is probably a fear, and then Unguarded Hour brought up the good point of the missing father component. Yesem says some kids abuse or even unalive their parents. Yes, that is true. That actually recently happened with a son unaliving his mother. There was like 2 cases I read about the son unaliving their mother. So that is very true. And we also heard about that other case of that son who unalived both parents. It was the football player, the retired football player. His son unalived him. And they had like 3 trials, and they had a hung jury, like 2 of the trials. And finally, he got convicted this year. Thank God. I knew that boy did it, trying to lie. So you make a good point, yes, that some of these kids do unalive their parents. And yeah, like you said, I'd be scared too to have a kid. One can bring them up right, and they could still go nuts. I agree with you, Yesem. You are right. I'm thankful to you guys for bringing up the other perspective of parenting that I didn't address. I really appreciate. That's why I love to hear your perspectives, because that does bring up a good point. But still, guys, like I said, if you feel like you just can't control those kids, sometimes you got to give them to the system for a while. Or, I'm sorry, I know that sounds pretty harsh. Don't be mad at me. I mean, if the kid is that bad, like these kids were, like they had a long record of it, a track record of it, I would be like, I'm sorry, you need to go to a group home or some type of boys camp or something. Or, let them be around a male figure, because that missing male component can have a detrimental effect in the household. But I'm just looking at that mom's Facebook and her TikTok. Y'all, she looked like she was so focused on herself. Like she really wasn't trying to discipline these boys. She just let them roam freely. It looks like that's what she did. She just let them roam freely. Even after she went to Christmas shopping, she didn't even hang out with her kids. She just left them. She wasn't even at the grandmother's house. She dropped them off at the grandmother's house and went and did her own thing. It doesn't seem like she really was involved actively in being involved in these boys' life. And they don't have a dad. So it's like they really didn't have much parenting at all. These kids just did what they wanted to do. They were basically grown men that called the shots. But I do understand the other perspective, that maybe there was some fear there, and then the lack of the father, but still, okay. I'm sorry, y'all. Tavia said, this is one of the worst cases ever. It is, Tavia. This case was a hot mess. I was like, I got to talk to my opinionators and litigators about this one. Oh, yeah. Alicia said that. She said, this sheriff actually seems upset by this. It's bad. Right, Alicia. Didn't he look upset? Girl, he was very upset. He actually took it personal. There's a longer press conference where when you hear the stuff he said, he was pretty heated. So like Alicia said, when you got the sheriff emotional about it, it's real. Like Christina said, let's be real, 3 different dads probably. Girl, you right. They look different. Don't they all look different too? They probably all got 3 different dads, because they don't look nothing alike. None of these siblings look alike at all. They probably did have 3 different dads, y'all. It looked like the daughters may have had the same dad, but these 3 look like they all look like 3 different. They don't even look alike to me. They look like they did have 3 different dads. Right, like Christina said, the mom is so irritating on TikTok. Right, take a look at that girl's TikTok. There's so many TikToks on there where she's just a hot mess. She's so focused on herself, it appears. that I don't think she really took the time to really spend time with her boys. And when she posts about her daughter so much. Like, I don't think she really even gave them attention like that. So they were always trying to get her affection, which is why you see both of them arguing over these gifts and the amount of gifts they got, because that's probably the only type of attention they even get is on Christmas or maybe on their birthday, because she's so focused on herself. There are some parents in the Black community that don't really parent their kids. They let their kids do whatever they want to do, not just in the Black community. Let me stop. Different communities, guys, in certain communities. Some of the parents, they don't really parent their kids or even try to spend time, quality time with their kids, find out what's going on in their life. A lot of times they're so focused on themselves. A lot of them have their kids really young. They don't know how to be parents. And then there's the component that you guys brought up, the lack of father in the household. And then as they get more older, maybe there is even that fear component. I don't think that mom was fearful, though. I really don't get that vibe. I think she just didn't really spend much time with her kids like that. It just looked like, based on her TikTok, if you look at her TikTok, this girl was so focused on herself. I don't really know too many moms that have a TikTok, too. This girl had, like, in one day, y'all, let me show y'all something. Let's go really quick to her TikTok. In just one day, y'all, she's supposed to be a parent. She got 4 kids. In just one day, she posted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 TikToks in one day. Now, y'all know I do that on my TikTok, but I don't have kids. Okay, I don't have no children. So it's different. But when you got 4 kids and you got 2 boys out here acting a hot tamale mess, how do you have 8 TikToks in one day? You could tell it's from the same day because she got the same exact shirt on, the same background in all of them. So she was just sitting out there doing TikToks. Like, same thing she did on this other day. 1, 2, 3 on one day. Well, that's not bad. But she does multiple TikToks. Look, she did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 TikToks on this day. She just, like, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 TikToks on another day. 12 TikToks, guys, in one day. Do you really think this woman is spending time with her kids and care about what's going on in their life? No wonder they're out here acting violent and stuff, because they don't have any real mother love, affection, attention, child rearing, anything. She's so focused on herself and trying to build her TikTok up. She don't have any time for her kids. It's a hot mess. How do you have that many TikToks in one day? And you got all these kids you need to be focusing on. Find out what they're doing in school. 1, 2, 3, 4, what? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 TikToks, y'all. Same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 TikToks in one day over here. And you know it's the same day because she got the same exact shirt, same exact background. So she obviously had been sitting here posting. Same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This girl's a hot mess. She just sits there on TikTok all day. Now, I wouldn't mind playing these for you, but it got a lot of copyright songs on here. So it's really no point. Let's see if this has a copyright song. Yeah, see, she does a lot of copyright songs, so I can't really... I can't play them, guys. I wish I could. What's this one? Let's see. See, she's so... Oh, my God. You could just see that this woman is so in love with herself. Look, just so in love with herself. She's searching for someone she's searching for her new baby daddy, basically, on this TikTok. She's searching for baby daddy number 5, because she got 4 kids right now. Baby daddy number 5. She over here sending these seductive TikToks, doing 10, 11, 12, 13 TikToks in one day. Like, what? You got boys that are out here shooting people, burglarizing houses, over here assaulting officers and teachers, and you not out here trying to spend time with them, figure out what's going on in their life. Like, this woman, I know people are saying that maybe she's scared, but guys, I'm looking at her social media. It doesn't give me a parent that's scared. It gives me a parent that just don't give a care. let them do what they want to do. That's the kind of vibe she gives me. She doesn't really give them much. Right. Fatu said, "Don't need to play it, shaking my head." Right. You can just see that she look a hot mess. Right. And you can tell she's not really doing much because, I mean, look at these poor kids. Right. Like Fatu said, the mother is searching for validation on social media. She really is, though. That's what the vibe I'm getting. It doesn't look like she's really afraid. It's giving a vibe of, I'm so in love with myself. I'm looking for validation. I'm looking for attention online. Maybe baby daddy number 5, because she looks young. She looks like she still can have kids. So she probably out here about ready to have another baby because she probably had her kids at a very young age. She doesn't look that older to me. She might be in her late 30s, maybe. Maybe I'm being generous. Maybe she could be in her 40s. Y'all know black don't crack, so who knows? But like the things she's doing, she's just sitting all day posting. Like, look at this is the same day in her car. She didn't go nowhere. Look, in her car the same day, in her car the same day, in her car the same day, in her car the same day. Okay, look at that. She just sat there in her car, guys, doing multiple TikToks in her vehicle. Where were her sons during this whole time? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, she really didn't give a care about those boys. They didn't stand a chance. Guys, they did not stand a chance. Fatu said, "What can we do to stop deadly situations from happening?" Girl, guy. I don't know if you're a girl or a guy. There are so many factors. I really don't know how we can stop it because there's so many factors that come into play. Number one, we need tougher punishment laws. America is too lenient on criminal conduct. They continually coddle and baby defendants. They allow what I can't stand either is a lot of times these defense attorneys be in here in court and they're allowed to basically allege these theories that they know good and well is not true, trying to confuse the jury, and we get these acquittals sometimes over fake theories that they can't even prove up their case, or the punishments that they have, the sentencings are so soft on crime. So soft on crime. They're constantly giving these criminals probation. They never let the defendants who get convicted serve their full sentences. They always get out early or serve half-time. America's too soft on crime. So how do we ever expect to see any change? If you're not held accountable for what you do, you really don't have any incentive. There's no deterrence. Then we have all these gun-free people who love to have all these access to guns. I mean, notice in foreign countries out there, you don't hear this in other countries. Why? Because they have tougher criminal law system. They don't have all this easy access to firearms. Like when I went to Africa, I didn't have a fear of being shot up in a mall. Not once. Because they have tough gun laws. Here, we're too lenient on the laws. Too much free access to guns, too much availability of the firearms, no tough judicial system. And sometimes the parenting, when we have the young kids in a situation like this woman, she's so in love with herself. She needs to sit and take accountability. But do you think she will? No, she won't. You know what she's probably going to do tomorrow is go on TikTok again. Go on TikTok and post 12 videos of herself being seductive because she could care less about those kids. I don't think she really even cared about those kids. I really don't. Sometimes we have these parents who have all these kids so that they can get money from the government. A lot of times they don't care about the children. I'm sorry to even bring up this topic, but I've seen some parents, they'll just have kids so they can get money from the government and rack up the money, and they don't really care about the children though. Now, I don't know if she did this. I'm not saying she did this, but I just know of some parents that do that. They don't really care about the kids. They're just having a bunch of kids so that they can claim the kid and get money for the kid, basically like government funding for the children. but they don't really spend time with the kids. She kind of gives me that vibe that she's that type of parent that just don't really care for her kids like that. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm looking at her TikTok and she's so in love with herself. Like, when are you having time for your kids? I'm just saying. Sorry, y'all. I'm a little harsh on this, Mom. I feel bad. Right. Like Chanel said, the mother's hair is always done to the nines. Exactly. She's so focused on how she look, what about these boys? Now, I wonder they had a fight because they are so thirsty for their mom's attention because they probably don't get it often. They were so neglected by her that when she bought more gifts for one of the kids, that kid, he felt so rejected by his mom and he got jealous and he took it out on his brother. That tells a lot about the parenting. Like, if he's continually being neglected in the household, well, yeah, he's going to be jealous of his brother if his brother gets more attention because they're not getting any attention at all from the mom as it is. Y'all, you guys are a hot mess in the comments. Tavia said, Mom actually thinks she's hot. No. You guys be taking me out, I'm telling you. We shouldn't be laughing at this. Somebody died. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not laughing at this story. I'm laughing at the comments. I really apologize. May Abrielle rest in peace. It's not a funny situation. Jazzy said, while her kids are playing with guns. Right. Like, your kids are out here getting arrested. They repeatedly were arrested for carrying guns. And she seemed like she just didn't care. Like, what was she doing? What she did is, if they were acting bad, she just ignored them. That's what it looks like. Looking at her posts, it looks like she gave a lot of praise to her daughter who's 21 years old. That was her favorite. It looks like that's her favorite kid because I guess that daughter is doing something for herself. She's behaving right. So the kids that acted up and they weren't doing well, what she did, she tended to ignore them. That's the vibe I get from her. She tends to ignore. Oh, wow, guys, this is ironic. Guys, check this out. Ooh, let me play this. This is crazy. But the vibe I get from this mom, looking at her post, it looks like she tends to ignore the bad behavior. Instead of addressing it, she ignores it. So if the kid is misbehaving, she just doesn't give that kid attention. But if a kid is well behaved, then she'll give that kid more praise and love and affection. And so she tends to favor, in my humble opinion, and I may be totally off base, y'all, but I'm just looking at her post. It looks like she favors the 21-year-old girl. That's the second oldest daughter, the one that just had a birthday. Because I guess this daughter right here is the laid back one. I'll show you a picture of her. She's still alive. She just had a birthday. She's 21 years old. It seems like this mom really, really favors her. She's all, to my baby girl, I love you so much, and turn up. I will go to war about this one. This seems to be her favorite daughter, in my humble opinion, because this one seems like to be the one that's the most well-behaved, get herself together. And so she tends to give acknowledgement and praise to the kids that are well-behaved. And then she just disregards and ignores the ones that aren't behaving well. She doesn't give them much attention, much acknowledgement. So with that being said, those kids or do everything they can to try to get attention, or if they feel neglected, they go out and they misbehave and rebel. And that's what these boys were doing because they weren't getting attention. So when the mom on Christmas bought more gifts for the brother, that caused him to react in that violent way. And you can tell she doesn't really know what she's doing as a parent, because who does that? Who buys more gifts for one kid than the other? Every parent knows you got to be equal when you have kids. You cannot show favoritism to one kid because the kids end up fighting. It's very obvious. It's very common for kids to fight when one parent is getting more than the other. But look at this ironic post that she did in November, guys. This right here is ironic. Look what she posted. She said, Lord, please don't let nobody take my life away from me for my kids' sake. And don't let my kids be taken away from me for my sake. Keep us covered. Wow. Wow, guys. She posted that November 27th. Isn't that ironic? Isn't it ironic that she posted this? And then Almost a month later, her daughter gets taken away, and her 2 boys are in the taken away basically through the judicial system. And you can see, like I said, she's so obsessed with her TikTok. She posts her TikTok here on her Facebook to get people to come to her TikTok. She posted it again. This woman seems very obsessed with social media. Here she said, B, I don't need makeup. H-O, you do. So see, she's very, it seems like she's very obsessed with herself and her appearance. And that was the same vibe I got from the daughter, because the daughter probably learned it from the mom. This woman is very obsessed with how she looks. She's so in love with herself. She's always posting all these TikToks and videos and pictures because she has this self-love for herself, but she doesn't even focus on really investing in these boys that need a lot of her attention. I don't need no makeup. I'm this, I'm that. Like, come on now. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm being pretty hard on the mom because after looking at her Facebook, I was like, and her TikTok, again, she's so in love with herself. Like, on my way to this bag. This mom sounds very immature. She might have had her kids at a young age. That's the vibe. She keeps posting her TikTok. Look at all these TikToks. That's how I found out she had a TikTok, guys, because she kept posting videos from her TikTok on her Facebook because she's very obsessed with Facebook. All I can do is smile. Like, no, all you should do is be focused on investing in those kids. TikTok, 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 TikTok. She just keeps posting. Happy birthday to my auntie baby. I love you so much. You will always be my baby. Like, yeah, I have an irritation for this mom. Like, all these TikToks she posts on her Facebook because she's trying to draw attention in for people to go to this TikTok that she has. It's like, y'all, these parents need to do better. I really don't. I think the mom had kids at a young age. I don't think she really took parenting seriously. I feel like she neglected those boys. She was so invested in herself. It seems like she spends more time on social media and drawing attention from whoever she want to get. Maybe her next baby daddy, y'all, probably baby daddy number 5. That she don't spend time really looking at what's going on with these boys. That's why they reacted the way they did, though. They reacted that way because they're so desperate for their mom's love and attention. They don't get much of that from her. So this Christmas and the gifts is kind of their way of getting some type of love or affection or acknowledgement from their mom. So it makes sense why the brothers reacted in a jealous, hostile way, because they don't get much love and affection from that mom. Okay? It's just, man, it's a hot mess. Oh, see, like this, like everything Erica said, you brought up something good. She said, more than likely, daughter was given a lot of responsibilities. That's why she's the favorite. You know, I don't know. The older daughter, who is deceased now, she looked like she had a lot of responsibility too. You might be onto something. They do that. You're right. They do that. Yes, they do. Young moms like that, they do put responsibility on the older kids. It's literally like the older siblings raise the children, which makes sense to me why Abrielle, who's the one that passed away, she kind of was trying to step in to parent the boys. And that's what ended up to her death. I think because she was the oldest sister, when she was, growing up, her mom was out too busy trying to get another man, that she put the responsibility on Abrielle. So Abrielle kind of acted like the parents to these boys. So that's what explains to me why when DeMarcus, was sent outside, she tried to step in as kind of like the parent figure, as she always has been doing, to tell him to stop acting that way. And I think she's been kind of like that parent figure in his life for many years, and he resented her for that. He already had pent up resentment for her because of her parenting role in his life. And so when she did step up and tell him, hey, you need to slow it down, he was already harboring so much resentment for Abrielle that he blew and took it all out on her that day. I feel like Abrielle kind of was like a parent figure for all those kids. Because like you said, everything, Erica, I feel like that mom wasn't really present. She probably put a lot of responsibility on the older girls to be the parents to those boys. And how do you do that for a younger girl who doesn't, barely know how to take care of herself? She probably still in puberty trying to figure out her life. So I feel like most of her life, Abrielle was kind of like a parent figure for those two boys. Maybe, she might have been harsh on him growing up. And this time when she was a little harsh and said some things to him, he didn't like it because he had already had resentment toward her over the years, I feel like. Because how do you get that angry over her comment? Her comment wasn't even that bad. All she said was for him just to calm down, that it was Christmas. So I feel like he already had been harboring a long periods of years of resentment pent up against Abriel, because maybe she kind of was a parent type figure in his life because that mom was nowhere to be found. But all he ever wanted was his mom's attention and love and affection. But that mom don't really give a care about her kids like that. She just posts the ones that she feels she's proud of and then ignores the other ones. So when he got stuff on Christmas, that was his only moment to shine and get some form of recognition from his mom. So of course these two boys start fighting over that attention from the mom. And when one got more gifts than the other, it caused this resentment and jealousy that they've already had pent up, because all they ever wanted was probably their mom's attention. And so they act out in rebellious ways because they can't seem to get what they want. It's just love and affection. They probably don't have much attention from their mom. And yeah, like as Chanel says, he has some Chanel says he has some anger issues. He does that needed immediate attention, but never got it. Exactly, Chanel. Exactly, because the mom is so focused on trying to get a new man, and the judicial system, they just keep letting this boy out every time he does something. So like I said, it was a combination of bad parenting and a very lenient criminal system that led to this very ultimate sad demise. Everything Erica said, it was done to me. My mom was a teen mom. Okay. You are right, Erica. My mom did the same thing. That they do put a lot of the pressure on the older kids. That is very true. I really feel that's probably what happened in this household. I really do. Right. Okay. And Fontu said, and the thing is, you can't be the only one as the disciplinary, especially when you not the parent, because they will resent you. Exactly, Fontu. It feels like, I'm telling you guys, I don't feel like this just happened out of nowhere, because her comment didn't seem that bad. When we read her comment, all she just basically said was just like, y'all need to let this go. It's Christmas. So I feel like he already had resentment toward her. And even the words that he was calling her HO and all these things, he already resented her because she was the pillar of discipline in that household. I don't think the mom disciplined, because the mom's so focused and in love with herself, she don't really spend time with those boys. So she probably was out clubbing while she was leaving the kids home when they were growing up with Abriel. And so Abriel probably used to be the disciplinary in that household. So what do you think happens? He grew up resenting Abriel because Abriel stood in the position as the mother in the household, not his biological mom. That one woman's out doing her own thing. Joyce is out having parties, and she's putting responsibility on Abriel. So I feel like, guys, he looked at her as his mother figure. He already had harbored resentment towards Abriel over the many years that she probably had to discipline him, had to scold him for things he had done. So I feel like he already resented this woman. And it was like the icing on the cake when she made this one comment that threw him over the edge, because, guys, the uncle intervened in the house, and the uncle was the first one that intervened and told him to leave the house. So if you think it was just because of just some isolated anger, then he would have shot the uncle. But why didn't he? Because he didn't have any resentment towards the uncle. He obviously had a pent up anger towards Abriel because of the many years of resentment that he built up of maybe her being the parent figure that had to step in and give him discipline, had to step in and scold him when he wasn't acting right. Because how do you just out of nowhere cuss her out, call her HO, and shoot her? It didn't just come out of nowhere. He was already angry, yes. But if it was just based on isolated anger that he had towards his older brother, he would have just shot the uncle then. And he didn't, because the uncle was the first one to intervene and even kicked DeMarcus out the house. But he never shot the uncle. So I'm feeling as though, like, I think, what was it, Fontu that brought it up? Who brought it up? Everything Erica really brought up something that really kind of helped us analyze this case a little deeper, that I feel like that might have had a role to play in this tragedy, that mom wasn't really available for those boys. She probably was out doing her own thing and put all the responsibility on Abriel when she was a kid growing up to take care of the younger ones. And so because she had to serve as the parent figure, I think DeMarcus already resented her. We're already seeing so many different cases out there, guys, of these kids killing their mothers. But when you have a parent that's not present, like Joyce hasn't been, and she puts the responsibility on the older siblings to be the parent role, well, then those children step into the role of being the parent, which makes sense why DeMarcus ended up unaliving Abrielle. That's what gives me the vibe. I think everything Erica really is giving us a different context, and really kind of helping us analyze this, because I just don't like. I really had questions as to why he just blew up that fast on Abrielle when her comment wasn't really that bad, especially when the uncle was the one that intervened first. So if he was just shooting just because he mad, he would have just said, "Forget you, uncle," and shot him. But he didn't do that. And then the names that he called her, he didn't even see her as, guys, that's sad, because this daughter, Abrielle, she went on to repeat the same behavior she saw her mom do, guys. That's sad. That's sad. This was becoming a generational curse in this household. Joyce had had kids at a young age with different babies' fathers. You could just see, look at these kids. They don't even look alike. I'm speculating that these kids don't have the same dad. She was out here being very promiscuous and free, and she's still being the same way based on her TikTok. And it looks like Abrielle repeated the same behavior. She's 23 years old, having 2 kids. They don't look alike, probably 2 different dads. I don't know. But she's out here sleeping around. The brother looked down upon her. That's why he called her the H-O word, because he looked down upon her. He didn't respect her based on her lifestyle that she repeated from what she's seen from her own mom, and based on her role of standing up as the parent when her mom would always neglect the kids. And this is all speculation, guys. All of this is speculation, allegations. We're just analyzing the case to figure out what happened in this household. But that's just my humble opinion of what I think happened. It's sad that Abrielle kind of repeated what she saw her mom do. It was going down that same road of having kids from different parents, different fathers. And again, I don't know if they have the same dad or not, but it just looked like they didn't look alike either. The 2 boys didn't even look alike. But that's why he looked like he didn't respect his sister either, calling her H-O and all these very derogatory, horrible names. That's how he perceived his sister as. So that's just sad. Dang. Yeah, like Yesum said, why is the criminal system so lenient? Why is the system so lenient on criminals, especially juveniles? Because of our Constitution and the laws that have been established. It's very sad, but not even just our Constitution, even the political leaders that we vote into office. There's so much different factors. But that's the reason why we have so much crime. It's the laws. When you don't have accountability for the behaviors of people who violate the law, then there's no deterring them from committing these crimes. And we can tell that's one of the core reasons, because if you compare our amounts of crimes and the types of crimes we have in America to the types of crimes we see in different countries, you can see that in those other countries, they don't have as much shootings and different crimes that we have in our country. And it's because of the laws and the punishments that we don't give them much accountability. I wish I could answer that for you, Yesum, but I just can't. Unfortunately, I can't. But thank you, y'all, for hearing. Oh, look, the mother was more like, yes, I agree with this comment. Chanel said the mother was more like the sister friend and the daughter was the mother figure. Exactly. And we see this happen a lot with the young parents. The young parents don't know how to be parents. They don't know how to be parents. They have kids so young, and so they try to be the friends of their children. And then they end up putting all the responsibility on the older kids. That happened in my household. My mom was a single mom, and she had all these kids from different fathers and all that. And she used to put the responsibility on my older sister. So my older sister was kind of like our parent. My mom would never be at home. And my sister was raising us, cooking for us, taking care of us. So yeah, that same story is repeated in a lot of these younger parent homes. especially in the Black community. So I agree with you on that, Chanel. That was a good comment, girl. Well, thank you, y'all, for sitting here listening to this very tragic story. May Abrielle rest in peace. She did not deserve this. I feel so sad for her that she did not get a chance to ever feel loved and feel valued. I feel so sad for her, man. Oh, may she rest in peace. I just wish she didn't have to rest. I wish she could be here with her boys, but this society, y'all, I don't know what to do. Y'all let us know what you think the resolution should be. Take care, y'all.